Hello, I'm Adam Newman. This is my official YouTube channel. Please subscribe and support them. The Young and the Restless Spoilers. Recap Tuesday. Full the 23rd of June 2026. Welcome back to our channel. Y and R family. Today is a beautifully chaotic day to dive into the absolute madness of our favorite soap. Grab a massive cup of coffee, because we have so much to unpack right now. I cannot believe they actually went there. I am literally shaking at my keyboard right now because what in the actual world did we just watch? No, seriously, can we talk about this? Because my jaw is still on the floor, and I need to know I am not the only one losing my mind over Jack Abbott's absolute sheer stupidity and Victor Newman's brand new level of pure, unadulterated evil. I have been watching this show for years, like since the classic days in 2015, and I have never wanted to reach through my screen and shake these characters more than I do tonight. But wait, I am getting ahead of myself. Let's start with Jack. Oh my god, Jack Abbott, what are you doing? He actually moved Patty Williams into the Abbott mansion. The mansion where he lives. Are you kidding me right now? I mean, I know the man is desperate to find Diane, and I get that he is panicking, but bringing Patty into his home? The woman who literally poisoned his niece Summer? The woman who has been dangerously obsessed with him for decades? Bringing her into his house to play some twisted psychological game of cat and mouse? It is delusional. It is beyond delusion. Jack thinks he is this master manipulator who can just play along with Patty's sick fantasies and trick her into slipping up and revealing where Diane is. But he is playing with actual fire. Remember the yacht? Remember when Patty altered her face to look like Emily Peterson? Jack is acting like he is dealing with a rational human being who just wants a little attention. No, Jack. This woman is a master of disguise and psychological torture. Every single second she is in the Abbott mansion, she is plotting. She is probably memorizing the floor plans, stealing things, setting up traps. And Jack is just sitting there in his tailored suit thinking he is James Bond. He thinks he can control the narrative. But the reality is that he is isolating himself with a predator. The more time he spends alone with Patty in that house, the more control she has over his entire life. And of course, because Jack is Jack, he completely botches it. He says the wrong thing. He pushes her too far during one of their conversations, and Patty's entire demeanor flips. Did you see the look in her eyes? That was not just crazy Patty, that was lethal Patty. She issued a warning that chilled me to the bone, and you just know it was not a threat against Jack. It was a threat against Diane. Patty basically holds all the cards right now. She has got that staged photo of Diane in a padded cell. She is blackmailing Jack for sex by demanding they recreate their yacht magic from back in the day, and Jack is walking right into her web. I am screaming at the TV for him to wake up. And can we just pause for a second to think about Kyle? Poor Kyle is running around Genoa City with Jack, desperately searching for answers, completely oblivious to the fact that his father has moved the very woman who might be responsible for his mother's disappearance right into their living room. Kyle is fiercely defending Diane to Detective Burrow, swearing she would not just run off, while Jack is setting up a literal psycho ward in the guest bedroom. If Kyle finds out that Jack is playing these games with Patty instead of just calling the cops and having her arrested, the Abbott family is going to implode. I mean, the betrayal Kyle will feel when he realizes Jack is risking Diane's life on a stupid bluff, it is going to be catastrophic. Okay, back to the point. Let's talk about Diane for a second. I know some people are loving this because Diane has done some terrible things in her past, but personally, my heart is breaking for her. Imagine waking up, your head pounding, the room spinning, and you see bars on the windows. Diane is a survivor. We all know she faked her own death and survived years off the grid. But this is different. She does not have her money. She does not have her leverage. She just has a letter opener and her wits. She is locked in this terrifying, barred room with Dr. Lawrence Markham, who we all know is corrupt as hell and getting paid off by Patty. And Diane is desperate. Like, you can see the absolute terror in her eyes. She knows that if she gets transferred to a permanent psychiatric facility, she is never seeing Jack or Kyle again. She will be buried alive in the medical system forever. So what does she do? She tries to appeal to Markham's conscience. She's desperately trying to talk her way out of this, begging him, trying to find some shred of humanity in this man to avoid being moved. But we know he does not have one. He is literally taking envelopes of cash from Patty Williams in the park. I was literally screaming at the screen when she tried to negotiate with Markham. She's trying to play a psychological game with a man who breaks minds for a living. I am terrified for her. But can we please shift gears to the Newmans? Because I am hyperventilating over Victor. I am sorry. But Victor has officially crossed a line that I do not think he can ever come back from. Let's talk about the MS for a sec. For months, Nikki has been brushing off these symptoms, blaming her multiple sclerosis. The blurred vision, the dizzy spells, the blinding agony in her head. She was so brave, trying to just push through it. And the moment she finally breaks down, the moment she admits she needs help and goes to the doctor, she gets this horrifying diagnosis. Is it a brain tumor? Is it cancer? The show is making it seem like a literal death sentence, and Nikki is completely terrified. She genuinely believes her life is ending. And what does her loving husband, her soulmate, Victor Newman, do? Does he comfort her? Does he hold her hand and promise they will fight this together? No. He uses her absolute lowest, most vulnerable moment to steal her company. I am so disgusted I can barely type. He plays the doting husband just long enough to get her heavily sedated and convinced that she needs to sign a medical power of attorney so he can take care of her treatments. But it is a lie. It is a massive, disgusting legal trap to transfer all of her personal shares in Newman Enterprises into a trust that he controls. He did not even shed a tear. He just called his lawyers. Who does that? He is literally looting his wife's estate while she is lying in bed, drugged out of her mind, thinking she is dying. Am I the only one who thinks this is unforgivable? I mean, Victor has done some shady stuff. He has locked people in dungeons. He has faked his own death. He has manipulated his kids. But doing this to Nikki, the love of his life, it is sick. It is actually sick. And I do not say that lightly. I am so glad Victoria is starting to catch on. Victoria is seeing the assets being liquidated, and you can see the gears turning in her head. She realizes her father is acting like a vulture, circling a dying animal, before the poor woman has even taken her last breath. Which brings me to Claire. Oh, poor, sweet Claire Grace Newman. She is so far out of her depth here. Victoria is usually so cold and calculated, but seeing her break down to Claire, that was a profound moment. She loves her mother so much. She tells Claire about Nikki's diagnosis, crying that she cannot lose her mom yet. It was such a raw, emotional scene. And Claire, who has already been through so much trauma, is just trying to be a supportive family member and keep this massive secret. But Victor can smell weakness like a shark smells blood. Because Victor knows everything and suspects everyone, he decides to test Claire's loyalty. When he cornered Claire in the living room, the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. He was not just asking her how her day was. He was using those sharp, piercing questions, staring right into her soul, trying to see if she knew about the trust fund, or the medical power of attorney, or the diagnosis. He was testing her loyalty to the Newman name versus her loyalty to Victoria. It is a sick, twisted game of chess, and Claire is just a pawn. I kind of feel like Claire's going to crack, or she is going to lie to Victor to protect Victoria, which will only make Victor turn his wrath on her. And what about Nick and Adam? When they find out what Victor is doing to Nikki, there is going to be a bloodbath at the Newman Ranch. Nick is already dealing with so much trauma, and Adam is constantly looking for a reason to hate his father. Victor is literally handing them the gasoline and the matches. If Victoria tells her brothers that their father is essentially stealing their mother's legacy while she is fighting for her life, I genuinely believe we might see the Newman kids finally unite to take Victor down once and for all. And honestly, I am here for it. I want to see Victor lose everything. I am just so emotionally exhausted by this show right now, but I also cannot look away. It is like a train wreck. Jack is about to sleep with his psychotic ex-wife to save his current wife, who is locked in a room with a fake doctor. Victor is robbing his dying wife blind and interrogating his granddaughter. It is pure, unadulterated soap opera gold. But it is also making my blood pressure skyrocket. So what is going to happen next? I predict Jack is going to go through with it. He is going to sleep with Patty, and Diane is going to find out, and it is going to destroy them. Or maybe, just maybe, Trossi will save the day, because Trossi is the only abbot with a functioning brain right now. And as for Victor, I want Nikki to wake up. I want Nikki to find out what he did, and I want her to take him to the absolute cleaners. I want her to team up with Victoria and burn Victor's empire to the ground. Am I being too dramatic? Probably. Do I care? Not at all. This is why we watch, right? We invest years of our lives into these characters so we can yell at them when they do stupid things. And right now, everyone in Genoa City is doing stupid things. I need to know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts, because I cannot be alone in this outrage. Are you Team Diane or Team Patty? Do you think Victor has gone too far this time? Let's hash it out because I am definitely not sleeping tonight.